Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I am Professor Dr. Shahzad. Today we are going to discuss gluconeogenesis. What is gluconeogenesis? Gluconeogenesis is the biosynthesis of glucose from non-carbohydrate sources. That is, gluconeogenesis is the process of synthesizing glucose or glycogen from non-carbohydrate precursors. Glycolysis and gluconeogenesis share the same pathway but in opposite direction, and both are reciprocally regulated. Liver and kidney are the major gluconeogenic tissue. Kidney may contribute up to 40% of total glucose synthesis in the fasting state and even more in starvation. The ATP required for gluconeogenesis is supplied by oxidation of fatty acids. The high concentration of alanine acts as a gluconeogenic signal by inhibiting glycolysis at the pyruvate kinase step. The propionate is of quantitative importance only in ruminant. The gluconeogenic precursor or substrate. The gluconeogenic precursors are the molecules that can be used to produce a net biosynthesis of glucose. They include lactate, produced in muscles and erythrocytes, glycerol, produced in adipose tissue, propionate, the carbohydrate end product in ruminants, and glucogenic amino acids. The key gluconeogenic enzymes are expressed in small intestine, but it is unclear whether they are or they not be significant in glucose production by the intestine in the fasting state, although propionate arising from intestinal bacterial fermentation of carbohydrate is a substrate for gluconeogenesis in enterocytes. A supply of glucose is necessary especially for the nervous tissue and erythrocytes. After an overnight fast, approximately equal contribution to the blood glucose is contributed by glycogenolysis, that is the breakdown of glycogen, or from gluconeogenesis, which is biosynthesis of glucose from non-carbohydrate sources. Later, with the depletion of glycogen reserves, gluconeogenesis become even more important. Failure of gluconeogenesis is usually fatal because this may result in hypoglycemia, that is, decreased blood glucose level than the normal, and hypoglycemia may cause brain dysfunction and which may lead to coma and even death. Glucose is also very important in maintaining adequate concentration of intermediate of TCA cycle, even when fatty acids are the main sources of acetyl-CoA in the tissue. In ruminants, the propionate is a product of rumen metabolism of carbohydrate and is a major substrate for gluconeogenesis. The excessive gluconeogenesis occur in critically ill patient in response to injury and infection. This contribute to hyperglycemia. Hyperglycemia means increased serum blood glucose level than the normal. This hyperglycemia is associated with poor outcome. The hyperglycemia may lead to changes in osmolality of body fluids. This may impair blood flow. Hyperglycemia may cause intracellular acidosis. Hyperglycemia may increase the superoxide radical production, which may result in deranged endothelial and immune functions. Hyperglycemia may impair blood coagulation. Excessive gluconeogenesis is a contributory factor to hyperglycemia in type 2 diabetes mellitus as well, because of impaired downregulation in response to insulin. This is a major pathways and the regulation of gluconeogenesis and glycolysis in the liver. The gluconeogenesis involve glycolysis and citric acid reactions and some special reactions. Gluconeogenesis may clear lactate produced by the muscles and erythrocytes and glycerol produced by the adipose tissues. The thermodynamic barriers prevents a simple reversal of glycolysis, and the main role is of three non-equilibrium reactions. We can see the substrate of the gluconeogenesis, which include lactate mainly produced in muscles and erythrocytes, glycerol produced in the adipose tissue, propionate carbohydrate end product in the ruminants, and the glucogenic amino acids. Phosphoenol pyruvate convert into pyruvate in glycolysis, and this reaction is being catalyzed by the pyruvate kinase. This is a unidirectional reaction and is the non-equilibrium reaction. For conversion of pyruvate into phosphoenol pyruvate, the same enzyme pyruvate kinase cannot perform this function, or the conversion cannot be done by a reaction catalyzed by the pyruvate kinase. For the conversion, this pyruvate is first carboxylated into oxaloacetate. We may say the reversal of reaction catalyzed by the pyruvate kinase in glycolysis involve two endothermic reactions. First, mitochondrial pyruvate carboxylase. This pyruvate carboxylase catalyze the carboxylation of pyruvate to oxaloacetate, which is an ATP requiring reaction in which the biotin is the coenzyme. Biotin binds carbon dioxide from bicarbonate as carboxybiotin prior to the addition of the carbon dioxide to pyruvate. The resultant oxaloacetate is reduced to malate, and then it is exported from the mitochondria into the cytosol. and there it oxidized back to oxaloacetate. Here you can see it is again oxidized into oxaloacetate. A second enzyme, which is phosphoenol pyruvate carboxykinase, catalyzes the decarboxylation and phosphorylation of oxaloacetate to phosphoenol pyruvate by using GTP as the phosphate donor. In liver and kidney, the reaction of succinate thiokinase in the citric acid cycle produce GTP rather than ATP as produced in other tissues, and this GTP is used for the reaction of phosphoenol pyruvate carboxykinase, so providing a link between citric acid cycle activity and gluconeogenesis to prevent excessive removal of oxaloacetate for gluconeogenesis, which would impair citric acid cycle activity. Now, here is the reversal of reactions by the same enzymes till the formation of fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. The next non-equilibrium reactions during glycolysis, the phosphorylation of fructose 6-phosphate into fructose 1,6-bisphosphate is catalyzed by the phosphofructokinase 1, and this is unidirectional reaction, and the same enzyme do not catalyze the reversal. For reversal or for the conversion of fructose 1,6-bisphosphate into fructose 6-phosphate, the reaction is catalyzed by the fructose 1,6-bisphosphatase. We can say fructose 1,6-bisphosphatase catalyze the conversion of fructose 1,6-bisphosphate into fructose 6-phosphate. Then it is isomerized into the glucose 6-phosphate. Means fructose 6-phosphate is isomerized into glucose 6-phosphate. And now this last non-equilibrium reactions of glycolysis. In the glycolysis, this glucose is phosphorylated by the glucokinase and the hexokinase into glucose 6-phosphate, and the same enzymes do not catalyze the reversal. But the glucose 6-phosphate is catalyzed by glucose 6-phosphate into glucose. We can say the conversion of glucose 6-phosphate to glucose is catalyzed by glucose 6-phosphatase. It is present in liver and kidney but absent from the muscle, which therefore cannot export glucose into the bloodstream. Again, we are concentrating on the conversion of this fructose 1,6-bisphosphate into the fructose 6-phosphate catalyzed by the fructose 1,6-bisphosphatase. The conversion of this fructose 1,6-bisphosphate to fructose 6-phosphate for the reversal of glycolysis is repeating, the enzyme is fructose 1,6-bisphosphatase. Its presence determines whether a tissue is capable of synthesizing glucose or glycogen not only from pyruvate but also from triose phosphate. It is present in liver, kidney and skeletal muscle but is probably absent from the heart and smooth muscle. This is the end of today's lecture. In the next lecture, we will continuing the gluconeogenesis. Thank you very much.